All right, let's build another bug. My buddy Brian asked me to build him, show him how I do my standard woolly booger. So that's what I'm gonna do tonight for you, for him rather. So let's get started. Get a hook in the vise. Make sure it's secure. So a woolly booger, there's no right or wrong way to do a woolly booger. Generally they're tied in like a size 6 to 10. I'm using a size 8. This is a new hook. I've never used these hooks before. The guys up at the New Fly Shop in Baldwin, Michigan, I think it's called 1884, something along those lines. Super legit shop. If you're ever in the area, highly recommend stopping in there and having a chat with those guys. So he turned me on to these hooks. I'm gonna give them a shot. I will tell you that I'm not a big fan of this, but I'm gonna go with it. I will tell you that the hook feels a little on the heavy side, which is perfect for something like a woolly booger. Definitely sharp. It's got a nice shank to it. Let's give it a shot. So to get started, I'm using 140 UTC 140 in black. It's in the bobbin. So we're gonna start at the front, work our way down. Tighten this up just a hair. So for this particular bug, again with the woolly booger, there's no right or wrong way to do these. It's kind of all what you want to do. So some marabou. I'm going to do mine in orange. We're just coming into the salmon season here on the St. Joe River, so this is a good fly for that. So I'm going to cut myself a piece of marabou. I always like to measure it just a little bit longer than the hook shank. I'm going to cut that off. This crap's gonna go everywhere. There's the infamous light. So again, hook shank length, a little bit longer. That's how I'm gonna do it. If you wet your fingers, you can kind of pull all this together. Makes it a little bit easier to work with. So hook shank, longer than hook shank. Crap sticking to my fingers. Good bourbon. So we're gonna tie that in. It's gonna go all crazy on you, don't worry about it. You're gonna come back and trim all this out anyway. So I'm going to use some of my Dr. Slick scissors. So we're just going to come in and we're going to cut all this out. Okay, wrap it all in. It's going to be on the bigger side, that's okay. If you want to really tighten this down and clean all that up, you can. Stuff like this. We can trim all this out if you want. Again, it's a woolly booger. No right or wrong way of doing these. Okay. So we brought the thread back up to the front. And you want to grab some ultra wire. I'm using copper. This stuff comes in a bunch of different colors. You can use green, you can use red, you can use whatever you want. I'm going to use the copper. I thought I already had a piece pulled off. Yeah, here we go. So this is from another another bug. So we have, 6 inches or so. I could measure it for you, but I won't. We're gonna tie that in, come all the way to the back. Okay, so we're gonna come back to really where we stopped tying the marabou in at, which is right here. So just let that hang at this point. Next up, we're gonna tie in some flash. Again, this stuff comes in an infinite amount of colors. I'm gonna use orange. You could also use like silver or purple or whatever you want. I'll show you how I tie mine in. So I have my flash, big piece of flash. How I do it is I will loop this like this, and then I come back in, pull my thread down, I wrap this around my thread. Okay, so now my flash is like this, come back down, wrap this in, tie this in. Once that's tied in, come back. So there's that loop that I made. So just come back in and cut that loop. Now you've got 4 pieces of flash hanging off there. Right? So thread still at the back. Next up, chenille. So this is a smaller chenille. Again, it's a woolly booger, so choose your weapon wisely. It can be different colors. You can make it orange, you can make it purple. An all black woolly booger with a purple chenille is a pretty hot pattern on the St. Joe. If I had black marabou, I would absolutely be doing that right now, but here we go. So the smaller chenille is easier to tie in if you have a thicker one. Like here's a piece right here. So if you have a thicker piece, what I like to do is just come in here and just strip some of this off at the end and then tie in here. So you tie in this fabric. So we're gonna tie that, just get that nice and secure. Come back to the front. So earlier when we had this big clump of marabou up here, I said don't worry about it, you're going to tie it in. I mean, as you can see, we've been up and down this with thread, and now we're about to wrap chenille around it. Okay, so touching wraps all the way back up to the front. So again, our thread is towards the front. So we're doing touching wraps. Hopefully you can see that. All the way back up front. Cutting it a little close there. Once you get back up front, just secure it off. Cut that out. Use these other scissors. Okay, so that's cut out. Put a little bit more on there. Take another little sip. All right, so our saddle hackle. When you buy a saddle hackle, usually it's in sizes. Again, Hairline makes a saddle hackle specifically for woolly boogers. but they will make it in various lengths. So when you're looking through here, you know, this is a fairly large. This here piece is even larger. These are kind of smaller. There's two there. So here's one that's a little bit on the smaller side. It's totally up to you. I'm probably gonna grab something kind of in the middle. Yeah, that one, call my name. So where it starts to get real long like this, so you could really tie this in any which way that you want. I'm gonna come down here and cut it here. And then what you want to do is I'm gonna start at the head. So my bigger pieces of feather are gonna be up here up front. So what you do is you strip some of that back, so you have a little bit exposed. Just lay it right on top. I'm gonna lay my feather down like this. So I'm gonna wrap all that in. And you want to get a good, you want to get this in here really secure. So notice my bobbin is still at the front. I did not wrap this down. I didn't wrap it behind and back. I'll show you why here in just a second. So we're gonna start wrapping. You could do your rotary vise. You could just spin this and just run it right back. But for the sake of the video, I'm gonna wrap. So we're just heading back to the back. All right, so we're back in the back. Still have my piece here. Oh, dang it, it slipped. All right, start over. Wrap into the back. I'm gonna space them out a little bit more so I have more to hang on to. Maybe one more wrap. So there we go. Now that wire, remember that wire? So switch hands here. What you want to do is you want to go the opposite direction that you just wrapped with the wire and just wiggle it through. So let's make one wrap to secure the saddle. Nope. Wrapping again. So here's how you do with the rotary. Just wrap it right back. Okay. So now we're just gonna wrap this wire. I don't like that. It's a little close, but it'll be all right. I just checked this all up. All right, third time's a charm. There you go. Okay. So we've secured that saddle. And now we're just bringing this wire back up through here, and this wire is securing the saddle to that chenille, right? So we're gonna bring this back up. And then you want to just lay this kind of towards the front, grab your thread, and just wrap it in. Okay. Wrapping it in. Now you can kind of helicopter this, or you can come in and cut it. Kind of turn it down a little bit. So there's our bug. And whip finish, so I got my whip finish tool. Give it a couple, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And if you wanted, you could put some super glue on the head if you want. You could put, you could put some clear finish on there. Some some UV resin. But that's all there is to it. Very basic. Yeah, there's this part here. We can trim that out. Dr. Slick, these needle point scissors are nice for the stuff like this. Come in here, chop that out. And there you go. There's my basic woolly booger. Nothing to it. No right or wrong way to do it. It's also a great fly to kind of learn on. As you can see, there's nothing really strenuous about it, unless that saddle hackle gets away from you. Also on this hook, I don't know if you could see this. I was able to close that a little bit with some thread. But yeah, that's it. Cheers.